Hey, hey.
Hello, Miss Eva.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I thought about you tonight
Oh, you do?
when I went to make dinner and I was really low on my garlic and onion, and I'm like, dang it. I never got to put my order in. And you had reminded me.
Yep.
And it always reminds me of that story I tell people when I'm like, don't think you're
Yep.
bothering people when you are like reaching out to them to say, hey, you're getting low on anything. Do you need anything? Yes, yes, I need garlic
Well,
and
I haven't
onion. Well, it's
submitted
the same
my
way.
order. I haven't submitted my order if you wanted me to add it to mine.
Yeah, you have to send me the link again in Facebook Messenger, and then I can look and see like, okay, oh, this is what I need, and then I can place an order. Um, but it's the same way. Like I said, I get low on that. I get down to like a teaspoon, and I'm like, I need to order more, but I forget, and I move on to the next thing. And I know a lot of tastefully simple consultants, but it's going to be the one that reaches out and says, hey, I'm putting an order in. Are you low on anything? No different for us when we reach out and say, hey, I'm putting in an order. Are you low on anything? They might say, yeah, I'm out of black raspberry vanilla or whatever, right? It's not bothering, it's good customer service.
Yeah, I literally, when I was sending those out, I thought you and Shannon both, and I was
Mhm.
like, Eva says I'm not bothering her because I'm reminding her.
You're
I know.
not,
I'm
you're
glad you
not. I'm like,
reminded me because I needed all
yeah,
my stuff.
I know,
you
me
need to
too. I
find,
can't wait to get mine.
I know.
because you
I'm
know, me
trying.
and Shannon, we see squirrels all the time.
Oh, me too, girl.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay.
I have a question, Shannon, while
Mhm.
you're there. I got a Scentsy box. It's my Mother's Day order from the first today, finally. And it was
Wow.
delivered in a plain brown box, and they had cut the label from the Scentsy box and taped it on the box. And you could see oil all over on the label where the label had been. So I was like, oh no, because it had the flowers, the purple flowers in it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, I bet one of them busted. No, I open it up and it's covered, I think it's transmission fluid. Like all the boxes are pink and stink to high heaven. Like my boxes are like so oily. The wolf boxes, like it soaked it all in, and they some of them they had put in plastic bags and zip tied them shut. So when I open it, it's like that smell.
So take a
Everything
picture of
smells.
it. Take a
Yeah,
picture of
I
it
took
and
pictures
send
and a
it to
video,
me.
and I was like, oh, I've been waiting for this forever.
Oh man, I hate that.
No, yeah, it was disgusting because I thought for sure I was like, oh no, one of those flowers busted and it's all over, but they're fine. They're not leaking. There's nothing, but oh, it's so gross.
Oh, I hate that. Absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
But they will replace it if you send a picture of it. They totally will
The
replace
I'm hoping they'll just send me a new boxes for a couple of the warmers. The warmers are fine and they're the element warmers, so I think that they would be fine if I get them out and like wipe them down with like Scentsy wipes or something like that, that they won't smell, let them air out. So I hate to have to send everything back. If they would could just send me boxes would be great.
it. That would be great. I'm trying to hold
I
on.
showed Shannon tonight. It was disgusting.
Wow. You have to show me.
Yeah, they're disgusting. I'll go get the one box. It's terrible.
I'm trying to see if this worked. I guess it's not gonna work. It's weird. Do you see? We'll just do it this way. We're just waiting for people to get on. They'll be on in just a second. We'll start in a second, guys. We're just waiting for some people. Trying to spotlight. There we go. And then spotlight.
I'm worried though that my flowers, look how pink it is, will
Oh my
be.
gosh. Have you opened it?
Yeah, I opened them. There's all right, but look at this one.
Oh my gosh. It's all
It's
pink.
like you dipped it in oil. It
Oh,
even soaked up the stuff inside soaked it up. And my one warmer, it's hard to tell with this lighting, but look, see,
yeah.
the whole box is pink. on the
Oh
one
yeah,
end.
they'll have to send you a new box.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm worried though with this one, since it's transmission fluid and it stinks so bad, or I think that's what Chad said it was. I'm taking his word. It's the
Wow.
Mm.
flour part, so I'm afraid it will absorb that smell. Do you think it'll absorb the smell?
I think so, yeah.
Mm.
Because it's a solar
Because
wood.
it smells like the oil.
Yeah, it probably will. I don't know what it would smell like. I don't know if it would take the fragrance oil. I would still message SCENTSY.
Yeah, I
So,
was going to.
all right, we'll go ahead and begin. Hey guys, I know that people are gonna be popping on, and I know there's some people on Facebook as
Mm.
well. And we felt like Eva is on here with me tonight, and we felt like it was time to really talk to you guys about conversations. Eva and I were talking today. We actually just hung
A
out on
lot.
Yeah, hung out on FaceTime and just did a lot of planning. And basically we were talking about I was telling her that I felt like we were back in 2009, 2010, and she agreed whenever she joined because back then, whenever I joined, things were tough. We were in a recession. People were looking to make money. They weren't necessarily looking to buy as much as they were making money. So that meant that I had to have a lot more conversations than just hey, do you want to buy something? It was more of getting them to think about the opportunity. And so what we have done is we have gone through a couple of scenarios and a couple of things tonight that we're going to share how to have conversations, things that you need to know, things that you need to have with you. We're going to give you examples. We're going to tell you some stories. We're going to ask you some questions. So it's basically Conversations 101 tonight that I think it was time for because a lot of people got to experience the hyper growth of 2020 and 21 into 22. And now we're in 24, which is 4 years later. But people still, it's like people forgot how to talk. People forgot how to communicate. People forgot how to connect. Um, and we're going to talk about that. I had my first home party Friday that I hadn't had since 2020. And it was amazing. It was just like when I first joined. So I don't know what we've been so scared about because people do want to get together. But that being said, we're gonna just go on over and Eva, are you ready to start us off?
Yeah, I can start.
All right.
We'll be doing pretty good, seeing as how we like threw it together today talking. That's usually how it
Yeah, I
works
think
best
you're
for us.
gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. So those of you that know me, you probably heard me say this before. For those of you that don't know me, well, my name's Eva Socks. I'm always using the it's the who, where, what, right? So it's well, first it's where are you going, right? Where are you going today? Who might you see? And what are you going to bring with you? What are you going to have with you? Because you always have to be prepared for the opportunity, right? And that was something that Jason Harwood spoke about once. And oh, I love you too, Shannon. And it just really always stuck with me. It really stuck with me. So before I leave the house, I'm always like, okay, where am I going? Who am I going to see when I'm there? What should I bring with me? Because that opportunity might come up. And you want me to go ahead and give examples, Shannon? She's paused. I don't know. I see her lips moving, but I don't hear anything. So, for example,
We were gonna ask them, we were gonna get them to interact, but hold on, let me mute some people.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. You adding people.
Okay, unmute yourself now.
We all go places, right? Whether it's to the grocery store, the bank, the post office, we go shopping, we go to doctor's appointments, we go to our kids' sporting events. We're all going places, right? So the question is, if you were going somewhere, who might you see and what would you bring? So we can think about how to interact and have conversations with people. All right.
You're gonna give them a scenario and y'all use the chat and put what you think.
So let's say you knew you had a dental appointment tomorrow or this morning, you know ahead of time. What might you do? Heidi cannot get her video. in here and see everything. Huh. Okay. So Heidi, down in the lower left, there should be where you will see a little, it looks like a video recorder.
A video recorder, yeah.
Yeah. And you click that, and then you should be able to see everybody.
If not, you can log back in. Sometimes Zoom
Yeah.
like that. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So let's see. Okay. So sample packs, circles, join packs, some sample packs, other maybe some set circles. Okay. So how might you, what would your approach be? Okay. So let's say you are going to the doctor's office. What would the approach be? Do you want to unmute anybody and let them say? If you raise your hand and you want to say what exactly you would do.
I always bring like a thank you card up for my nurse, and I always have like SCENTSY circles in there. And then if it's a new catalog, I just have the new catalog in a clear envelope type thing with the thank you card stuck inside of there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Sherry, we're going to help you with that. Okay, so I'm reading the chat. I take my mom to the doctor. I always thank them. Yep. We have circle samples. Yep. They have product sheets at the gas pump, pumping gas. So one of the things that we've probably heard before is that the samples are good if we have a way to get in touch with them again, right? And the nice thing about giving samples at, say, the dentist office or your doctor's office is you're going to go back there again. You're going to see them again. You can follow up with them again, right? Some at the gas station, maybe not. You know, you give them something, you hope maybe you hear from them, but you probably aren't going to see them again unless you get their contact information. That's kind of like a short little interaction, right? But it's not, you can't hurt to try. So for me, what I had done with my physical therapy office was beforehand, yes, brand yourself. Beforehand, I thought, okay, when I go in there, I want to make sure I have something for them. And I always want to make sure I have enough. So I actually called into the office and said, hi, my name's Eva Socks. I have an appointment tomorrow, physical therapy on my neck. Would you mind telling me how many staff members you have? I would love to bring you guys a little bit of something. And they're like, oh, thank you. Well, we've got this many therapists and this many front desk people, and we have this many doctors. Great. So I made up like little blessing bags, little thank you goodie bags, and just like little samples. Each one had a circle. But then I made sure I had a little, almost like a party tote. And it had a catalog and it had testers in there. Just so if they wanted to smell the fragrances, they could. And when I was back there getting my treatment, I came back out, and I think I even had, because this has been a little while since I did this, I even had brought a warmer that I said if they wanted to borrow it for the week, they could. And I tried to find something light, like Luna, like something that I've been in healthcare for 30 years, and my doctors that I worked for never liked stuff to be warming that smelled like food in the office. That's just been them. They don't even want you heating up food in the back of the microwave and the smell coming out. They don't like that. So I wanted to try to do something that was nice and light, or bring a couple different bars, and you let the girls decide what they want, right? Like with black raspberry, vanilla, whatever, or let the doctor decide. But when I came back out for my treatment, they were all in the testers. They were loving it. They said, how can we get this stuff? How can we get more of this? Right. And I could have said, well, here's order forms. I'll get you order forms, write down what you want. But what I said to them was, you know what? We can do a mystery hostess drawing. So you guys collect all the orders. I'll put all the orders in, and we'll draw a name, and whoever I draw wins the free and half off. And whoever wins, if you don't want the half offs, we can gift those out to people. It turned into a $600 party. And some of those girls still order from me. And that's been a couple years ago that happened. So that was me thinking ahead, making sure I brought with me what I needed, as many as I needed for them. And, just thanking them. I wanted to thank you guys, for seeing me today, because I was in a lot of pain. Still am in a lot of pain. But that's one of the ways that you can do that. Just always find out how many people are there. And you can always bring, you don't advertise it this way, but you can always bring like Dunkin' Donuts, like little munchkins. You can bring something too, other than just Scentsy, right? Trust me, offices love food. You bring cookies, you bring donuts. They love that stuff. Love, love, love.
I'll share my doctor one too, real quick. So I went to the urologist because I had kidney stones, and I had a Scentsy bag with me. One of those bags that we had that had the clear front and it said Scentsy on it. I had a book in there. I had some samples in there. I had my business cards in there because I knew I was going out of this house. And anytime I leave this house, I remembered Jacqueline Roy's I guess it was her commandments basically of Scentsy, is that you make 10 opportunity packets and 50 samples, put them by your front door and make sure you leave with them every time you go out. That way at the end of the month, 50 people will have names that matched each one of those samples, and you'll have 10 names that match each one of those opportunity packets. That being said, I did exactly what she said, but I was really hurting. So I went into the office and I got put into a room. And at that point, they had given me some kind of medicine or something that really irritated my stomach. I was on the floor and the nurse walks in and she looks at me, but she looks over at my bag and she goes, "Oh, you sell Scentsy?" And I'm thinking, "Are you kidding me? I'm dying on the floor right now." And I was like, "Yes." And she was just like, "Oh, wow. I've always wanted to try it." I'm like, "You can keep the bag. Just get the doctor. I'm in so much pain." And so anyway, so she kept the bag. The doctor came in, scheduled my surgery for the next day or two, because Annette had to come in there and meet me because we had to get the kidney stone out. And it was so funny because my husband brought me in 2 days later to be able to give the girl who ended up joining my team a basket party, and she joined the team. If I would not have had my bag with me, if I would not have had my book, if I would not have had some samples with me, to be able to share with her, that wouldn't have happened, because I was not in any position whatsoever to talk to her at all about Scentsy. I was in so much pain. I just handed her the bag and left. So your stuff that you have with you, your samples, your books, your products, or your branding can do a lot for you, even whenever you don't have those conversations. Okay, go ahead.
Someone else I had gifted something to. Now, I just had a mammogram yesterday. Can't keep track of my days. Yesterday. But the last time I went last year, I was prepared because I knew where I was going, who I was going to see. And I had a scent circle with me. And the lady that saw me was so good. She was so nice. She was so considerate, so thoughtful. Sometimes they just put it in there and they're smashing and they're not very careful. She was so sweet and so kind. And when she was done, I said, "I just want to thank you for taking such good care of me today." I said, "You were so kind and so thoughtful and considerate in how you treated me and whatnot. And I want to give you a little gift." She said, "You don't have to give me a gift. This is my job." I was like, "No, I do. I want to give you a gift." And I gave her a scent circle. And I remembered her name and I was like, "Your name, you sound familiar. Last name's Brian." She's like, "Do you know so-and-so Brian?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she lives in Clear Spring. Oh, she's your mom. She lives so many doors down from me," right? Like this conversation starts. She ordered a line from me. Yeah. I had a patient the other day. I've been doing dental hygiene 2 days a week, helping out a dental office. And this guy in my chair was like, "Do you sell Scentsy?" I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "I knew it. I knew you looked familiar because I'm friends with, Billy and Kevin and Brian. I could have swore I saw you in pictures with them and whatnot." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What are you doing in here?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't give up my license and they've been asking me to help out, so I am." He's like, "Well, that's great." And I he told me what he did for a living, but I know he has like a side business. I got an order just the other day, $100 order, and it was him. So it's kind of like, also by me being branded, right? And I'm on social media and, I put it out there and things with me and my friends. He recognized me. So, um, yeah, he's going to get some nice follow-up mail. Fun mail.
I think I wrote down the gas station. So,
Mm-hmm.
gas station. I used to have my name in the very back of my car, which I'm gonna put it back on there again, in a different way. I was at the gas station one time, and someone asked me a question about Scentsy because I had it on the back of my car. I have a rule of thumb: if you're gonna put Scentsy on your body, if you're gonna put Scentsy on your car, you better have something to back it up.
Better be prepared.
Because if you're like, oh yeah, I saw Scentsy, but let me bring something back to you, then sometimes you lose them within those few seconds. But if you have it on you and you give it to them, you'll have them. So I was at the gas station. Somebody asked me about Scentsy, asked me if I had bulbs. I have a mobile office. I did then. I just started another one because I probably haven't had a mobile office in my car.
I need to get better at that. I am terrible at that.
Yeah, but I had
I
one
that
back then. And I had my books and I had some testers. If it was hot outside, I had felt samples. I had joint information, opportunity packets, and I had light bulbs with me because light bulbs are gold. Normally, if you find someone who needs a bulb, they haven't smelled the new scents, they haven't seen a new book yet, and they probably are using some old warmer, right? So you have a chance of being able to upsell them on something else. Anyway, so this girl stopped me and she was just like, I haven't been able to find a Scentsy consultant anywhere. And I'm like, are you kidding? There are a lot here, but okay. And she was just like, I need a bulb. And I opened up the back of my car and I had a 25-watt bulb in my mobile office. And then I was like, well, here's a bulb. So I know you haven't smelled the new scents yet if you are needing a bulb. And she's like, you're right. I haven't. I haven't bought anything in over a year or two. And I was like, well, I don't want to step on your Scentsy consultant's toes at all. And I was like, so what is the last sample that you got from them? And just like, well, I don't really have. And I'm like, okay. So that made it clear for me to be able to serve her. Because if she was like Eva Socks, I'm like, okay, well, you need to let Eva know that you saw Shannon and got a bulb from her so that she needs to give you those new scents. I mean, that's how we take care of each other. So I always make sure whenever somebody sees me out and they do get something from me, I'll ask them who is their consultant. And sometimes they'll say, yeah, I have one. And I'll say, well, what is the last sample you got from them? And if they can't answer that, then I know they're not being served. Okay. They're probably just picking it up at fairs and festivals, and then those people are not following up with them except every so often. So have a mobile office. And like I said, that's the rule of thumb. If you're going to wear it or if you're going to put it on your car, make sure you can back it up. Okay. I think you're going to talk about grocery store.
Grocery store. So, sorry, I don't know. I'm still learning this MacBook and I just like messed up something on my screen. Hold on. So I was at the grocery store one day and of course I had a scent circle with me. I always try to keep them with me. And there was a lady coming through the aisle. She had like 3 kids on the hip. One was screaming, one was trying to pull himself to the ground, the other one was trying to get out of the cart, and it was just a hot mess. And I just walked up to her and I said, excuse me. I said, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm like, you need a little bit of joy in your life today because you've got your hands full and I want to give you something that's going to make you feel a little better. And she was like, looking at me like, you're a crazy woman. And I handed her the scent circle. She was like, oh, thank you. This is so thoughtful. This is so nice of you. She's like, I did need this today. And I just thought, this woman is doing things for everybody else all the time. Like this poor woman can't even go to the grocery store alone, right? I mean, we know how that is. And I just wanted to give her something. And when people order from your website, you always want to follow up and be like, hey, how did I hear? I can usually tell if it's someone that's like, was a customer of mine from someone else, right? But if it's just some random person, you always ask, how did you find me? Who referred you to me? Whether that lady ever ordered, I don't know, but it made me feel good to give that to her as a gift, right? Because the give more than you take, you give out a blessing, it may or may not come back. Now, there have been times when, I've had Scentsy on, I've been unprepared And people have asked, and I'm like, I don't have a business card with me. And that's when you're like, the little fib, I gave the last one away. Is there any way I can get your information and send you, some samples in the mail? And or find me on Facebook. Are you on social media? And then they find you. I just did an event with Jerry on Sunday. We do this toys and collectible show. And I try not to set up like I'm a SCENTSY consultant because no one else there is direct sales. It's people bringing old toys and things like that. So I have my SCENTSY licensed products out, SCENTSY buddies, licensed bars. I keep bulbs underneath, but I don't have a SCENTSY tablecloth out, nothing like that. And a couple of the people that I met, I didn't want to do like the enter my drawings, but there's certain types of products they love. I was like, are you on social media? Are you on Facebook? Yeah. Well, you know what? Find me or I'll find you and I can add you to my VIP page. Oh, okay, great. And I added 2 customers to my VIP page on Sunday. So there's like 2 new connections I'm making with people, right? No, I don't have their address, I don't have their phone number, but they're in my VIP group. They're watching me. They see what I'm posting. They see, everything that I'm doing. So you just have to always try to find ways to connect with people. I'm getting really frustrated at this computer.
Okay,
Hanging with me.
so I have 4 kids, and I went to many baseball, softball, volleyball practices, soccer practices, piano recitals, all the things, practices, whatever, dance practices, everything. So I decided to start picking up my basket parties, fluffing them and getting them ready to go out to another person during the times that I was there watching the kids practice. Every time someone would ask me, what are you doing? What is that? Is that lip gloss? Is that makeup? And if they didn't ask me, normally I could ask them, hey, what do you think of this scent? Do you like this one? I'm trying to find a fruity scent to be able to put in a salon. I'm trying to find something that I can leave at a vet office. What do you think of this? And I give them a couple of them to smell, and they'd be like, wow, that really smells good. What is this stuff? And I'm like, it's SCENTSY. I really want to make a really good impression in this office. The fact that I would ask people and I would get their opinions added value to them that day. And a lot of times I would be like, oh, wow, okay, do you have a book? Do you have anything? I was like, better yet, I got something really good for you. And back then we did not have stickers. We had like scent appeals. They were like a thing that had like a keychain and it was a bunch of scents. I can smell them. So I had scent appeals with me and I would just give it to them and say, here you go. If you collect orders of $150 back then, and now it's $200, you get free stuff and half off stuff just by taking this and that book with you in some order forms. Oh, wow, that's so awesome. And I had people joining me and my team from the kids' events that I would do. I would not be the pushy, SCENTSY person, because if you are the pushy, SCENTSY person, that's like Peter Piper, whatever. But if you are that, they are going to be like, oh, here comes Shannon. She's going to make us buy some SCENTSY. Okay. She's going to have her SCENTSY stuff with you. Run. Instead, I wanted to do things that added value to them by getting their opinion of things, leaving them with things, thanking them for things, but not ever being like, how many do you want? Can I order you one? Those kind of things. I didn't want to be that person. And I feel like because I was always prepared whenever I would go to those practices with things for people to smell, because I'm a big believer. If you put the smell under their nose, you usually get an order or you'll get somebody to a party or you'll get somebody to join your team, because scents are amazing and they can do incredible things. So those are like 4 scenarios that we came up with. Yeah, exactly. You can put your QR code and pictures on your phone, and so if you don't have a business card, so that they can actually scan it. But those are some of the scenarios, and we'll ask you guys for some of yours too. But we're gonna move to the next thing. Let's see. We have it all written down. All right. I think we're gonna talk about events and fundraising.
Events and fundraising. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of my sales at the end of the year came from fundraisers. You have to really, I mean, I know they say not to scroll social media. I'm sorry, I have an eyelash in my eye. But if it's productive scrolling, right? Like you're looking through and you're trying to see who might need your help, right? I did a lot of fundraisers just based on people that I knew were in need of help. And it was thousands and thousands and thousands of PRV. Gosh, probably close to 10,000 PRV within 3 or 4 months. And what's happened is because of me doing fundraisers, like I'm doing a fundraiser for a little girl that has cancer. Her name's Keegan. I gave them an air purifier for her to keep in her room in her house, and they take it to the hospital when she goes to the hospital, because she not only is fighting cancer, but she got a fungal infection in her lungs that she got while in the hospital. Her mom was looking to buy one, and everybody was trying to sell her one. And of course, I was like, I will give you one. And gave her pods and gave the child a poo a buddy and gave the brother a buddy, just gave all the things. Scrolling. So when you're just scrolling, so like you're looking through and you're like, not necessarily help, but also like, so the office that I'm filling in at now, there's a girl that works the front desk. Her name's Kanya. I'm just scrolling. I'm scrolling. All of a sudden I see her daughter does cheer. As soon as I saw it work the next day, I said, hey, I see your daughter does cheer. She does competitive cheer. She's like, oh, girl, that's got me always running here and there. I said, my son does travel soccer. That is expensive. She's like, you got to pay this. You got the travel fees. You got the food. You got the gas. And I was like, I know it. I was like, Hunter's was $2,800 just for the registration. And so she's always doing fundraisers. She did one of like, you could do it like win a ticket, and like it was like a 50-50. She's doing sandwiches. And I said, I would love to do a SCENTSY fundraiser for you and give you back all my commission. I'll give you back all the hostess reward. She's like, really? I said, absolutely. She said, okay, let's do it. She's like, as soon as I'm done this, sandwich fundraiser, we'll do the SCENTSY one. I said, okay. But see, I wouldn't have known that. I'm not really up there with her that much at the front. I'm in the back, up to my elbows in blood and saliva. I'm not up there much with her, listening to, the stuff about their kids and whatnot. So by me scrolling, I saw that. I saw that a friend of mine's brother's house burnt down. They lost everything. I reached out and said, hey, would they be interested in me doing a fundraiser for them to help them get some money that they can have towards whatever they need? Sure. By me having this fundraiser for Keegan, a girl that's in that group reached out to me and said, a friend of mine's baby was born premature. The parents are young. They're in their early 20s. They have all these expenses. She had to move her job closer to the hospital, all the gas, all the money. Would you be willing to do a fundraiser? Absolutely. So when people know you as someone that's giving back and you're willing to do fundraisers to help people, they will find you. I had a lady reach out to me. I posted that I was selling some of my Ray Dunn on the yard sale site. It was Valentine's stuff, I think. Wanted to know if I would donate it to a animal rescue fundraiser that they were doing. They're like giving away stuff. And I said, no, I can't give it away, but I could donate about, $200 worth of SCENTSY products to y'all, make up 2 baskets and donate that to you guys. You can raffle them off. And they were like, really? Are you serious? I was like, absolutely. I was like, and I do fundraisers? I was like, yeah, let's do a fundraiser. So they wanted my Ray Dunn. I was like, nope, I'm going to give you SCENTSY. And got a fundraiser. But that was just me posting in the yard sale site. And and that's the other thing. If you ever are selling stuff in the yard sale site, I don't mean SCENTSY because, that's out of compliance, but we've sold a lot of stuff that we have from around here, just random stuff we don't need. Every time I meet up with someone, I always take them SCENTSY with me. Always. This last lady that I met up with, I took her a scent circle and some samples. She stood in the parking lot and talked to me for like an hour and a half about Disney, because we're both Disney nuts, and we became friends, and now we're friends on social media. It's just, I could tell she didn't want to just take her stuff and go. I think she was a little lonely. She's just she's my age, but she stays at home, works at home. She just wanted to talk. We stood outside outside the car and talked for an hour and a half. Just making friends. But just finding ways to make connections with people, right? You're not bombarding them with things right away, but you're making those small connections. And over time, it can become something. The other thing about the event was, so if you ever set up at an event, I know a lot of you do. I don't do a lot of events, but when I'm setting up at an event, it's hard for me to always get out and go to other tables and look around and see what everybody else has. I want to because I want to shop, but I can't. Not unless Jerry's with me, because Jerry is part of my team and he is allowed to be at the table and sell stuff for me and whatnot. So if I get a chance, I will walk around. And I always make sure I have fundraiser stuff with me. Because one, when I walk around, some of the tents that are there is like James Buchanan Soccer Club, James Buchanan cheer team. You know, there's always these little tents set up that they're, you know, trying to raise money for stuff. Churches, you name it. And I'm always touching base with them and giving them my information and getting their business card. And when people come up to my tent, sometimes the people that come up that are customers, moms are wearing and supporting their kids' team, like Clear Spring Blazers or whatever, right? And be like, oh, your son plays soccer. My son plays soccer too. I don't know if you know this, but since he does fundraisers, I would love to help you guys earn extra money. Oh, great. Give me your information. Like I'm always looking for the opportunity. So that was something I wanted to remind you guys of.
So I think you answered this, but I'm not sure. Sherry
Okay.
asked, what do you mean scroll and see if they need help? For one thing, I think what you're referring to, because this would be for me, like I'm going to be doing a mission trip. I'm not allowed to pay for it. I need fundraising. So if I want to put on my page, hey, I'm doing a mission trip, you know, looking for people to be able to support me financially and also prayerfully, right? If I was a Tastefully Simple person, I might message me and say, hey, how about if you have a link and I give you all of my commission to go towards your mission trip? Because she happened to scroll and see that I was help. I think
Yeah,
that's
they're looking for people in need of help.
right. So that's what we were referring to with that one.
Yep.
And another thing that we were just talking about a second ago or earlier today, it seems like we were in the phone a long time, is, you know, how to make lemonade out of lemons. Because like she was just talking about at events. I have done so many events that I didn't sell enough to cover my booth cost. I didn't sell enough to, you know, even say, okay, well, I had all this inventory I got for it, even free and half off stuff, but for what it's worth, I didn't make it, right? So because I knew that I went around, like she was saying, and I met each and every vendor and made sure they knew who I was and asked them how they did, got to meet them, got their information, and really started to establish those relationships. And because I did that, I had one girl that was a boot vendor who ended up joining me because we were all sitting around waiting for someone to come to our tables and no one came because the coordinator did not do a very good job, you know, advertising it. Then I had another girl that was with doTERRA that wanted to use our diffusers. And so I gave her a diffuser to put on her table and she fell in love with it. And so she wanted to join so that she could do that. And then I had another girl back in the day, whenever I did Velada, whenever I did those kind of booths, that she actually joined my team because she came over and she tried some of the things I had. So you want to make sure that if you're having a bad event, you need to think to yourself, and I don't even like to use the word bad, but if it's not as great as you thought it was, ask yourself, how can I make this better right now? How can I bring joy to these people? Or how can I add value to these people? Or, you know, how can I leave with connections that I didn't have before I got here? And it will grow your business. They will be like, you know what? That was a really bad event, but I really enjoyed meeting those vendors. And I would encourage them, you know, hey, it was great meeting you. Have you met all the vendors here? No, not yet. I'd walk around and meet them because you never know, they might be interested in your stuff sometime. And there's been events where each vendor has gone around different tables and bought just something small from everybody just to, you know, be like, okay, well, let's all support each other. So you want to make sure that you do that because we were just talking about different things that happen. And another thing that happened with me was I had a home party one time. No one showed up. It was just me and the host sitting there. And she's like, oh, I should have just canceled it. I should have just canceled it. And it was in the middle of the summer and no one came. Now, she didn't think to invite like her neighbors. She was inviting people from work and she was inviting all these people. So we had everything set up and I looked outside and I saw people out there and I was just like, do you know any of these people? And she's like, yeah, I know them all. Our kids play. And I was just like, oh, why don't we invite the kids over and see if the moms want to come smell anything? And she's like, okay. And so she went out there and asked them, and she came in and had like a really big party. I had another girl who no one came, and I left her the basket party or the scents, and she was able to collect orders from all the people who said they would come because they owed her. So you've got to think about, even with your Facebook parties, you've got to think about, okay, this isn't working out the way I thought it would be. So how can I change this? What's something I can do positive to be able to establish those conversations and relationships? And as you can see, everything that Eva and I are sharing, does it sound pushy to you? Because we are trying to build relationships. We're trying to add value to people. We're trying to make a change somehow, whether it be they want to join us in the opportunity or whether they just want to get things at a discount. Because right now, people don't want to spend a whole lot of money. They don't, but they do want free stuff still. And I was telling Eva that last weekend at my home party, this reminded me of 2010. When I went to the home party, it was a girl. She'd invited 7 people, 4 people came. They all brought their kids. All the kids were anywhere between 4 and 7. They sat on the floor and put together all these Legos. All the moms were just like laying around and smelling the scents and laughing and giggling. And the husbands were in the other room cooking chicken and putting together some other kind of Lego thing. Because on Friday nights, they all just get together and cook out because they want the kids to get together to give them a break. And I was like, this reminds me of how I grew my business. Was I would have play dates and I would get people together that were already wanting to be together. So change your mindset with, nobody wants to have a party. Nobody wants to do that. Yes, they do. They want to get together. Yes, they do. They want to cook out. Yes, they do. They want to have play dates. And start making a list of people that you know that could do that. Okay. Sorry, Eva. Go ahead.
No, don't be sorry. I'm just sitting there thinking like, what was I gonna, because I'll have these ideas as you're talking and I think about it. And then of course my mind goes squirrel. But I can tell you what, we've got to get, we learned to shift when COVID hit, right? And we started doing Facebook parties and things like that. And everybody got used to that. But back when I did home parties, and you have to ask yourself, why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? Well, when I started to not like doing home parties was because it seemed like a lot of work. We know why it was a lot of work? Because I made it be a lot of work. Because I felt like I had to take everything. It'd take an hour to set up, hour to tear down. Heck, I can set up a whole event in 15, 20 minutes down here in one of my small events with 2 little tables. Like, why was it taking me that long? And of course, if you make a lot of work, they're not going to want to do it. You have to keep it simple. Now, don't ask me where I got this. I will have to research somehow in my emails. I forget who made this for me. But I've had this at offices that have wanted to borrow it. Like if you have people that want to like just have testers and things like that out where they can like just have something simple in the break room. This, I know some of you have this. It's a Lazy Susan. If you have a husband that's handy, it could even make you one. If you have a Cricut, you can do all these cute little things, right? And it just sits there. And I actually, when I was getting ready to do one of my last home parties, which ended up getting canceled because of COVID, I had this in a back. I had everything that I needed to take in a backpack. Everything. Because what was going to go on here was like a mini fan, a fragrance flower, counter cleaner, hand cream, a little tub of washer whips, right? A little thing of oil, like I had, or pods, diffuser, like I had one of every little thing on there. And I was going to do SCENTSY bingo. And so the things that I brought with me, and a bar of wax here, all the things I gave, everything I was bringing with me was going to be the prizes. So all I had was this, because here's the thing, guys. And when I do, and I know I'm squirreling, but when I do like a Facebook Live in a party page, and I am talking about the products, I don't go into details about all the products. I might say, and we have laundry care, laundry detergent, washer whiffs, dryer sheets, whatever. My favorite product is the washer whiffs. We have cleaning products. We have bathroom cleaner, counter cleaner. We have this. My favorite is the all-purpose cleaner because of this. And I talk about the all-purpose cleaner. In the categories, I pick one thing to talk about. So it's the same thing when I do a party. I just bring one of each of my favorite things. We have how many warmers, right? You could bring every one of them but one, and that's the one they'd want to see. So bring like the warmer of the month if you have it, or bring one that requires a light bulb, one that is an element warmer, something like you don't have to have a lot of stuff. So simplify. But I can tell you when I did my home parties, but never not have a party that wasn't under $500. They were usually pretty good. And if you have at least 10 people there, our statistics show that out of the 10, at least 7 will order, 7 to 8 will order, 2 will book a party, and 1 will join your team. And that's how you're going to build your business. That's how I built. That's how I hit director in 7 months. I was partying. I wasn't doing a lot of catalog parties and basket parties. I mean, we got to do what we got to do. But if we can get back into these homes, it's going to be better. And I told.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. I'm searching for something that I was telling you
okay.
about earlier.
I want to say something so I won't forget.
Go ahead.
It's about the invite. That's what it is. If you ask someone if they want to have a home party and they say no, and then you're like, oh, well, do you want to take the scents around and share them? They're going to probably say yes because they've already said no. It's always about that invite, okay? And the other thing I was going to tell you is the other day I posted that I was doing a home party on Friday night, and Jen Audette posted underneath she commented under my post and said, don't forget about the card game. And I'm like, the card game? What are you talking about? And so I messaged her. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was just like, the card game. And so she kind of sent, me a little thing. I was like, oh yeah, I used to do that. I totally forgot. So I did that on Friday night with 4 girls. Okay. You have a deck of cards and you tell them to ask any question that they have about SCENTSY.
Oh, yeah.
Ask anything you want to know about SCENTSY. Anything about me, anything about where I've gone, trips I've won or earned, anything. Each time that you ask me something, I'm gonna give you a card, and whoever has the highest points is gonna win a prize. So they're all in competition to win this prize. And they covered everything that I could probably think about, sitting up there saying, okay, well, you have to have a $200 party to do this. This is the kind of parties that you can have. This is where I've gone. Instead of just sitting up there, they asked me questions. And the other thing I did was I would say, who has our counter clean? And someone would say, I do. I'd say, okay, tell me 3 things that you like about it. And they'd be like, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, awesome. Okay. Who uses our wax? Do you like our wax or our pods better? Because I asked them if there were any SCENTSY virgins, and they said no. So everybody knew what it was. They sold themselves because I asked questions that they were able to answer. And if it's someone who is a SCENTSY virgin, they're going to be like, well, what is that? And what is that? And I'll say, well, does anybody here use this? Let's tell her what this is and why do you like it? I know why I like it, but I want to hear from you. And the girl who was given all the information, she was already at like $350 in orders just from 4 people. And then I'd given her the cents to be able to share at work. So she's going to hit 500. And then I sent out I showed that thing and it said, did you know that if you get $500 in orders this month, you get this whole kit free? And this is how much it's worth. And I just can't believe it. And you earn a kit and you get the commission. And she's like, sign me up. Sign me up. Next Friday, let's keep the party open until here. Sign me up. And I was just like, this feels like 2010 whenever we did the home parties. And basket parties are the same way. When I would collect the orders, I'd be like, this is how much you've earned. This is how much you would get paid. Do you want me to get paid or do you want to get paid? And just asking those questions makes them think. And they're not used to that because they're just used to like, this is what I need. And how much is it going to be? Because right now I'm telling you what, I've got 4 kids, 3 that are still home. And it is so much money to feed them. Eva was talking about it today. One, what was it? Going to Chick-fil-A.
Do not get me fired up again.
I know.
I went to Chick-fil-A and got Hunter dinner last night and it was $24.
Yeah. And then while we're on the phone, my kids come down and they're like, Mom, can we go to Chick-fil-A? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like $75. But that's expensive, guys. I'm boiling eggs. I'm like, I'm going to have boiled eggs and some oatmeal. Forget going out. But if I want my house to smell good, I'm going to spend money on SCENTSY. I am, because I want my house to smell good. I know it makes me feel better. I know it makes my family feel better. I know my husband comes in and thinks I cleaned when maybe I did not. So people choose where they're going to spend their money. And because they're choosing where they're going to spend their money, they're also looking at where they can get discounts and how they can get paid. Right now is the best time in the world to recruit. With the world crazy as it is, and inflation, is the best time to tell people that they can make money. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
You show what you're sending out.
Oh, well, first I wanted to go to this before I forget. This was also a call that I was on. I think it might have been a Tuesday call. You know how we have the Tuesday calls with SCENTSY, and they were talking about the whole, if I do this, would you do that? If I do this, would you do that? If I bring this, would you bring that? Now, don't be going and posting this and get in trouble and say, well, Eva told me I can, because apparently it could be out of compliance to post this. I did, and knock on wood, I didn't get in trouble for it. But because, we all may not have the same means to provide things and bring things to a party, you might want to send this in private. But I had posted, if I bring the margaritas, chips, and salsa, would you be interested in inviting your besties for a sip and sniff? Because I didn't say, do you want to have a party? Bring your friends over to buy stuff. If I bring the margaritas, chips, and salsa, right? It will be fun, and I'm sure I can round up a bartender for us. This is what somebody said, but because people were taking my post and using it as their own, it's funny. I can't even find my own post. If I bring the chips and salsa, would you be interested in a sip and sniff with some friends and family? Inbox me for more information. If you don't feel comfortable posting that, be vague. Post on there, where are my friends that love margaritas, chips, and salsa? And they're going to be raising their hands, right? That's all you ask. Who loves margaritas, chips, and salsa? They say, yes, I do. Reach out to them. Hey, girl, I saw you love margaritas, chips, and salsa. So do I. Hey, listen, if I bring the margaritas, chips, and salsa, would you be interested in, and I wouldn't even say, would you be? I'd say, hey, listen, just like I've told you before, when you go to the dental office and you get your teeth cleaned and you go to the front desk and they say, hey, do you want to come back in 6 months? You're like, no, I don't want to come back here and let you torture me in 6 months. They say, hey, let's get you scheduled in 6 months. Let's get you in the books, get you in for your next cleaning. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you make the appointment. So you say, hey, I see you love margaritas, chips, and salsa. So do I. Hey, let's pick a date. Get your calendar out. Let's pick a date so I can bring over all my testers and let all your friends have a little sip and sniff and smell all the new scents. And I'll bring samples and things like that. Okay. You said, let's do this. Why don't we do this? Not, hey, do you want to? Would you? Right? Let's get it planned. Let's do this. The approach is everything. How can you say no to that? You can't. You can't. So I just wanted to share that before I forgot.
Well, I love it. And before you share what you're sending out, because
Yeah.
I'll send track. That's why I have like what we're talking about over here on the side of my computer. If you see me, like, because we bring.
Yeah, I'm looking over at my computer because I'm trying to go back and find my notes and what I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to talk about.
But we were also talking about like gratitude and how you can use SCENTSY products and how you can do things. And so you can probably even Google this. But something I used to do because I had little kids is they had SCENTSY coloring pages of our buddies whenever our buddies first came out.
Mhm.
And I would print out a bunch of coloring pages and get a bunch of those crayons from Dollar Tree. And if I was at the park and some kids were being unruly or something, I would walk over and be like, hey, here you go. You can have these. I have them for, kids and they can just have them. And oh my gosh, what is this? And it would bring up SCENTSY. Or I would bring it to some of my parties if the parents had kids. I would bring something for them to color. Eva, you can tell about the flight attendant thing, but UPS drivers, I've had 2 UPS drivers join because I had scent circles or I had something for them with a book and something to give them and make I think I gave them vent clips to make their vehicle smell better. They're like, oh, I've gotten these before, but I never knew where to get it again from because people didn't label it or they didn't give them any of their information. So there's so many ways that you can use SCENTSY to show gratitude. So you just gotta think about how you can do that.
So when I fly, so my sponsor, I rolled up to her daughter is a flight attendant, and she said that flight attendants they just love, love, love when the passengers give them things, give them gifts. And sometimes it's just like a little bag of candy, like assorted candy in a little Ziploc baggie. They love that, right? Hey, I just want to thank you for taking care of me. And here's a little something. So, and I can always, if I can find a picture, but I have this cutest picture of me and these flight attendants, and they were all male, all men, and they're Southwest. When I got on the plane, as I was going through and they were saying hi, I was like, hi, I brought you a little gift. And I gave them all scent circles. They were so excited, so excited. They were like, girl, this smells so good. And they were smelling it and they want to get a picture. We got a selfie together. And don't you know, well, that's the one story. But when they came around to ask who wanted drinks, I always get my vodka and cranberry when I fly. I went to give them my voucher ticket. They said, no, we got you. So they bring me my drink for free. And then when they came back around to ask if I wanted another one, I went to give them my voucher. No, we got you. I mean, they take care of you. You give them something, they're going to take care of you. The one flight attendant, this was a different flight, but she came through when she was taking everybody's orders. And this is how she was. She was like, what can I get you? Her face looked really like annoyed and bothered. I don't know what was going on with her. Like we were just getting started. And I was like, I'll have a vodka and cranberry. And she was like, okay. So I was like, do you want my payment now? No, I'll get it when I come back. So she goes to come back and I hand her my card with a scent circle. And I think there was a sample. I had like a sample of wax felt sample. And she was like, her face went like this. She's like, is this for me? I was like, yeah, that's for you. And she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Right. So she goes off with it and she's in the back. Next thing you know, this other flight attendant comes up. She's talking to the row behind me. And she says, are you the scent lady? To the lady in the row behind me against the window. Lady's like, no, I'm not a scent lady. I was like, I'm the scent lady. And she's like, whatever you gave her, that smelled really good. And I was like, I got one for you too. Oh, no. I don't want anything. I said, but I brought something for everybody. Are you sure? Yeah. So I gave it to her. And then when she come back the next time, she goes, how was your drink? I said, it was good. She goes, but was it like good? I said, oh, it was good. She goes, I got you. I'll make you one better. She went back, made me another drink. So not saying you have to drink when you fly, but if you do, you spoil them with SCENTSY, they're going to hook you up. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, I always give my flight attendants SCENTSY. They love, love, love it. You never know. They might order from you. They might become next person on your team. You're not going to know if you don't give it out. And I did one time recruit a lady that was checking my luggage because I went to a retreat and they were talking about how important it is to make sure you get someone's information. If you just give something out, you're not going to, how can you follow up, right? So the lady was checking my bag. She was super sweet. And I went to give her a scent circle. And I said, I would love to send you some other things, like some samples and things like that. Would you mind giving me your address and I'll send you some stuff? She's like, sure, honey. She wrote it down and I sent it to her and she joined my team.
And it's just
because
amazing.
Checking my bag, weighing it, and all that stuff. So you just never know.
Yeah.
Never.
It's amazing because when I was on the cruise, the girl that did my massage, because I used my credit that we had for massage, gave her some information. Never heard from her. Never ever heard from her. And this was last April that we went on that cruise. She messaged me the other day and was like, hey, I'm moving to the United States and I still have that information that you gave me. Do you know if you guys are in this area yet? And if not, I'll be in the United States like in October. And we were not in, it wasn't Malaysia, but it was some word, Marita or Mauritius or some kind of islands. And I was like, no, we're not there yet. And she's like, okay, well, I'll be in the United States in October. I want to join. So I was like, wow. I mean, that was like last April. And then Steve and I went to Belize in 2015 and met a girl named Claire Baisden. She was our barista at the coffee shop at the airport. 2015. She messages me almost 9 years later. Hey, I'm moving to the United States and we're friends on Facebook and I always see your stuff. Can I know more about what you do? Yeah, 9 years ago. So she joins, I'm gonna flip because I cannot believe it because we just started talking about it. So you just never know where you are planting seeds. Like even
no,
you never know.
which reminded me, of the story I told you earlier, Shannon, and I almost forgot this.
Oh yeah.
The girl from Lush. Okay. So I went shopping at a mall hours from here because I was getting something for my husband. They didn't have that store around here. I forget what store it was. And Lush, the store Lush. I love Lush because they have all the body products and everything. The place just smells amazing. It has all that earthy stuff that I love, like patchouli and all those things, right? So I go in and there's a scent that I was looking for. I forget what it is, but it smells like orange and patchouli. If you ever go there, you know what I'm talking about. But I was in the back. I was doing a little hand wash and all the things. This girl comes up. She's cute as a button, as Reba would say, cute as a button. And she was like, "Can I help you with anything?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just smelling. There's a certain scent that I was looking for." And she said, "It might be this." We were talking and whatnot. And I was up at the register, and she was giving me like little samples of like body scrub to take home, and little samples of soap and things like that. And I had my SCENTSY sling bag on. And she was like, "Oh, you're a consultant." And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, I love SCENTSY." And I thought, well, of course you do. You love scents and fragrances. And she said, "My SCENTSY person's not around here anymore," or whatever. And I said, "Well, I would love to send you some samples." I said, this was when the new fall winter released. Okay. Fall winter catalog. So I'd love to send you some samples. So I sent her some samples. I had her number, address, and everything. And never did hear from her. She just reached out to me I got an email that I got an order and it said Emma Peters. And I thought, that sounds familiar. I think that's the girl from Lush. And before I could even reach out to her, she reached out to me March 26th. "Hi, Eva. I just placed my first SCENTSY order with you. I'm not sure if you remember me. We met at Lush. I got all the samples you sent me when we were living in Virginia, and they helped me through a really stressful time. At that time, we were in the midst of moving and my husband transitioning out of the Army, so I couldn't really afford to purchase anything. But now we are settled with our new jobs, so I was able to purchase some goodies. I just wanted to reach out and tell you how much the samples you sent meant to me. I hope you have a fabulous day." So I said, "Hey, I'm just seeing this. I thought that was probably you. I wasn't sure because the address wasn't the same as I remembered you being on base. Hope you guys are doing well. Are you at another Lush, like where you're living? I'm glad you loved your goodies and that it helped you. Fragrance is something that can really help ease stresses and worry." She said, "I am no longer at Lush at all. We moved back to North Carolina. Thanks again for everything." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate your order. And if you'd ever want to give SCENTSY a try, because I know how much you love fragrance, I can always send you an opportunity packet to just check things out. I'm glad you guys are doing well." She said, "Thank you so much. And I'll definitely let you know if I ever want to try selling it. Again, I really do appreciate everything. And I hope you have a great week and happy Easter." So she friended me on Facebook. I sent her an invite to my VIP page and she's there. So she's going to be seeing, she's going to be watching. I'm going to follow up with her on this order, something really nice. I might send her a mini fan, some pods, and new recruit coming home. There you go. And send her, which I'm going to show you what I got right here. I'm going to send her some samples and things like that and just, plant the seeds. But yeah, I would love, 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 love to have her on my team. She's already done sales. She loves fragrance. She has an amazing personality. She's part of my dream team. Those are the kind of people you want. So yeah, I mean, you have to just always be aware of the opportunities. And I never would have thought that would have happened with her, and it did. But had I not gotten her address from her, who knows, right? And I followed through. I told her I'd send her samples, and I did.
And guys, I know it's 9 o'clock. We're going to only be like probably 5 to 10 more minutes. So if you just hang with us.
Yeah.
Show you. And I did want to answer Sherry. She asked what kind of scents. Something that my customers love is to play on words. And so we have that new scent called Berry Sweet.
Oh.
And a coach a long time ago told me this, and I will never forget it. He said, get 5 thank you cards out. Go ahead and write some kind of information on it. It was so great meeting you. I would love to have someone like you on my team. Put your QR code, whatever, on it, your information in a business card, and keep them on you. And then when you meet the person, you grab the thank you card and you put their name at the very top. So you leave the name part blank, but you go ahead and write out what you would say to them and sign your name with your information.
And put their name at the top.
Because there's something about them getting it with their name on it that really makes an impact. And so I'll
Mhm.
say, you have a very sweet day. It was very sweet meeting you. I will play off of words and give that to people because they remember those kind of things. So, all right, cool. And you
And
can
just, you know, I just bought some of my last party I closed out. All of my half offs were 6 very sweet scent circles
yeah.
because I'm going to write, it was very sweet of you to think of me when you know, chose a Scentsy consultant for your order. Yeah, I ordered tons of the berry sweets. After this call, they're probably going to sell out. That'll be the next one to sell out. So yeah, that I'm glad you talked about that because the berry sweet scent circles are really, really neat. Okay, so you want me to show this what I'm making? Okay, I'll be real quick. So I went onto Amazon because I wanted to order the little round testers like this. This is what I will make up so I get the 10 new fragrances. I don't typically melt the wax and pour them in here. It takes forever. I just warm up cube in the microwave 20 seconds. I slice it down. I push it in here. I smush it with my thumb. It's in there. It's done. I screw this on. I'll get the 1-inch stickers. I slap it on and I even handwrite, you know, simple. You don't have to have a printer. Just stick it on there. So when I was in there looking to get these, I saw these cute little molds. Okay. Clear plastic. And you get like 50 for $30. But they also come with this little box. They come flat. You have to open them up yourself and fold them and whatnot. Okay. I thought, how cute is that? So there's 12 hearts. Now, I only had 4 of the 10 new fragrances because I sold the other 6 to a customer. She begged, and I have the other 6 coming. But what I'm doing is, and where's the one that I wanted to show you guys? It's not in the kitchen. Maybe. I'm oh no, here's 2. But I'm doing, so there's 12 here, okay? So I'm doing 1 of each of the new scents. And I'm doing the 2 new, I got them on Amazon. And I can share the link in my page, guys, and then in Shannon's group page, because I'm in there. I'll share the links with you guys. So I used a whole bar of wax and I made 17 trays. I filled them not quite to the top, but almost to the top. So what you could do is if you have the rub and smell stickers, I know it could take time, but you could, I used a paper cutter and I just cut them down in little strips and I put where the scent is on the sticker. You know what I'm saying? I cut it and I just put it right across the back. But what I'm doing is all 10 of the new 10 fragrances, and then the last 2 are the scent of the month for last month and this month. Does that make sense? So what I'm doing is I'm getting these out to them. They can use these to, you know, take it, let someone rub it, smell it. They can pass these around for people to smell. And then when they're done, they can just pop them out and use them. Now, if you're mailing these out to people, you're gonna have to do it on a bubble mailer. I know it's gonna cost more. So I'm not mailing these to everybody, guys. I'm mailing these out to my previous hostesses, hoping that maybe they'll host again once they smell all this. And they already have all the fragrances right there in their hand that they'll host again. Or maybe some of my VIP customers that they get monthly shipments, right? And I just want to spoil them. So, but yeah, you get 50 of these. It ended up, Shannon, what did I say it was per?
It was cheap, 16 cents.
Yeah, it was like 16 cents for this with the box. And then, you know, you got the cost of your wax. Huh?
I think you got 50 of those for $13.
Yeah, I got 50 of them for $31. Yeah, $31.
50
so,
for 30. Yeah.
Sending those out. I think it'll be cute being in a little box. That makes it special. I did order just some little gummy bears on Amazon. I got gummy bears. Always send Scentsy Club information. This is a rack card. Someone else created it and I had it printed off on Vistaprint, which is kind of expensive. So what I do now, since I order them, I have my copier and I do the front of one and the back of another and I lay it down on there and I scan it off on paper, you know, and then I just fold it, stick it in there, cheaper. I do that. I'm putting Scentsy swipes in here, like a little Scentsy swipe or 2 in a little cellophane bag. somebody created this Canva link, not me. I will find it. I will share it with you guys. And I printed it off on like the 2x4 inch square Avery stickers. I think it's Avery stickers. I do those. Of course, I always do a join flyer. If you have warmer of the month, you can put that on there with a sticker. And the Thursday night shift page, Heather Gorsuch, she's amazing. You know, she's amazing. She created this flyer. She has the Canva link. You can go in and alter it, put your image, whatever you want on there. When I do mine through Canva, I honestly screenshot my picture. I crop it down, and then I go into Studio app and I put it on a white background and I crop it down and I make it fit so that when I print off my printer, it fits on here. Okay. So I send that, and I'm going to try to do like, because I got the whiff box, I'm going to try to do bathroom cleaner in a little bottle. Maybe a little room spray. I'm going to try to do soap in here. If you do a third soap and the rest water, you can do foam soap. I got these on Amazon, but I have to try to create something that I can wrap around a stick or something that says like, pretty much that the soap doesn't come like this, right? That to make this is pre-made for you. You mix our soap, 1/3 soap, 2/3 water, whatever, just for them to try it. You can also get these little containers. I mean, you can put shower gel in there, whatever. I mean, you can keep it simple or you can make it as much as you want it to be. I just have a lot of stuff here to make samples, and I'm like, I need to get this stuff out. If you guys ever get on the Thursday night shift call, I don't always get on there, but I was on the last one, and they all gave pointers about what they do with their monthly rub and smell stickers from like warmer of the month and stuff. And they gave a lot of great ideas. I said, just watch it. I had a lot of like, wow, that's pretty cool. I never thought of that. And even the ones training were like, oh, I never thought of that either. But one of the things I thought was cute. Now, Jen Aldette, she said she still uses these felt samples because her customers said they get more fragrance from these. They're thicker. I know they soak up more wax, but and they cost more. But she said they love them. But what some of the girls were, the one girl said she dips this like halfway in, let's say, Squeeze a Day, turns it around, dips the other half in sugared strawberry, and then you have a mixer, right? So when they melt it together, oh, strawberry lemonade, whatever. But it was a neat way to get two fragrances on one piece of wax. So I'm going to try to do a couple of those and send that out. And very rarely do I ever use the full-size catalogs because they're expensive. You honestly get everything you need in here. You get the fragrance descriptions, you get all the prices. All you don't get is the bundle and saves. And you just send it out. And of course, if you have any of the, cotton cleanups, throw one of those in there. Stuff like that. The new dryer sheets, you can put one of those in there. I don't think I have a sticker for that, but I'm sure I could find one. But that's what I'm trying to send out to people that I really want to post again, because if they have some of that fragrance on their person, they can take it to work. They can share it with people. So that's that.
And you don't have to like do all the things. Look around what you have. And if you have a box, then use that and make samples out of it. Use your half offs, use your free stuff to be able to get stuff to make out samples, because we're not telling you to spend money, because the last thing we want you to do is to take your family money and put it into SCENTSY. We want you to be smart about how you're getting the information and how you're getting the sample stuff and not costing yourself money.
Now, here's one of the most least expensive ways you can get something out to somebody. And I've showed many of you this before, but get a postcard. Doesn't have to be a SCENTSY postcard. Thanks, right? If you have the rub and smell stickers for this season, or any stickers that are left over that you have that maybe are in this catalog again, put something on there. Don't let these go to waste. 5 across the top, 5 across the bottom. So you could do the 10 new fragrances, 5 and 5, that's 10. Fill this out, send them a postcard. It's a postcard stamp. You can make stickers where you can make a QR code that you put on a sticker, it takes them right to your website. You can make a QR code with a sticker that takes them right to a flippable catalog. When they scan that with their phone, right on their phone, they're flipping through the catalog. You don't have to send them a catalog. Create a sticker to order from you, and to look at the catalog is all right there on a postcard. So, but it doesn't have to be expensive, but you're just trying to get that little bit of fragrance out. Listen, I've had hostesses that don't want the party toast. They want doing all the stuff. Just give me the catalog. Just give me the catalog, and they collect $500 in orders. I don't mean, if they're collecting orders from people who've already bought SCENTSY, they're like, I don't need all that. Give them what they want. If you have it, you can give it to them.
Especially if you get them to make a wish list. And
Yeah.
like, that's how much is that? And it's like $170. I don't have that. Okay, then you need to collect this much so you can get this free, this half off, and,
Mhm.
and help them. And you can get paid on it too if you want to join. But that's what we wanted to do tonight, is we wanted to revisit conversations and how we built our business and give you ideas of how to go out there and build your businesses, not using social media. We're just trying to tell you that you see enough people every day when you go out to be able to make someone smile by something that we have. And that was our goal tonight. So I hope we did okay with giving you all the information.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything you want to share, or any, praise report that you have, or something that maybe we didn't talk about? And
Yeah, something that's worked for you that you want to share.
you can just unmute yourself.
Well, I joined in during COVID. So I doing things in person. I mean, I work full time, so doing things in person is not unusual for me, but like doing an in-home party, I've still never done one of those or anything like that, because people are still, they're starting to come out, like you said, they want to get together. So I'm still working on that. But um for my parties online, something I've been trying that seems to be working is I hosted a party for a girl, and she sent me a little verbiage thing, and I asked her, and I stole it, and she said Facebook parties have been boring and slow for her, so she had me get 5 hype girls, she called them. So I sent them this little verbiage that I have that says, if you agree to be my hype girl for my party, comment every day, comment on posts, tag people, do all this stuff, then my consultant is going to put you 5 into a raffle, and you're going to get something, and you're going to get free stuff from her. So she sent them free samples, even if they didn't win, and then one of them earned a big prize at the end. So being on all virtual stuff, I know you're trying to get people out, and I'm here for that. Everything you guys said was great, but if you have customers that you've, like, I've got a lot of customers that are not close to me that I can't do an online or a home party for. So when I started building my customer base, a lot of it was all online. So this has helped my past few parties that I've had online, because I was getting to that rut where it was like nobody was wanting to join, nobody was commenting, nobody was doing anything.
Mhm.
So when those 5 girls joined my party that I was having for this girl, oh my God, it like, because she left it public, and so everybody they tagged or that they commented on was seeing it, and so like my party like blew up, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's found something here, at least for the online stuff. So I've used it with my past 2 ones, and it's really helped, because like you said, everybody wants something for free, even if
Well,
it's just samples, and that's
one thing you're saying that I love is that when you came into SCENTSY, and how you had that skill and that craft, and you are amazing at it, right? And when I came in, it was like the home party. So it's like the mesh of both is just
mhm.
such a wonderful thing that anybody can work their business however they want.
Mhm.
And
Right.
I did grow around the United States and other countries by asking questions. Does anybody know anyone in Florida? Does anyone know anybody in here? And I would just ask questions, and then they'd tag someone that lives here or whatever. I used to do stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
whenever they would do it, I'd message them and say, I'm looking to find someone in this area. And I would use the old school ways of being able to send out basket parties, mail, to get the scents under their nose for them to have it shipped to them if they had a party, and then hopefully they would join too. So
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're able to do it through Facebook parties now, because
Yeah.
back then it was kind of like fishing. You know, whatever you caught, you went with it. And
And like you said earlier too, a comment, like when I know everybody's had Pineapple Chef parties and everything, and I get that generic at the end of the party that says, "Hey, if you host a party, you know, help your host, whatever." But you can tell it's like just that generic verbiage that
Mhm.
everybody sends out. I did my own, so I comment usually on whoever's commented the most, and I send them a personal message, and I don't say anything about having a party or hosting or doing anything like that. I just thank them for being active and helping the party go and everything. And then I'm like, if you have a little more time, like to ask you a few more questions. And so then I will start that conversation, but I always ask, the first question I always ask is if they have a Scentsy consultant, which is funny because you were talking about how if she knew Eva, you would give her Eva's information. And
Mhm.
I have had so many people are like immediately, because they know, they're like, oh, the next question is going to be, she wants me to have a party. So she'll go, oh yeah, I have a host, or I have a consultant. I don't, and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
that's great. I was like, I just didn't want to add you to my thing if you have a person, but is it okay if I send you samples? Well, then it's like, oh yeah, you can send me samples. And then next thing you know, they're like commenting, and they're asking you more, and it's like you find out that they probably didn't have a consultant really, but they just didn't want you to ask them to have a party. But it gets that conversation going, and so then eventually they either ask you, or you can, or get to know them better and build that rapport and get them
Mhm.
to host for you or something. But it's funny because I always ask first, and they're like, "That's weird. Why would you ask that?" And I'm like, "Because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. If you do truly have one, I'm like, that's great, you know." But that's funny. And like you said, trolling Facebook. Once you get when you're wearing stuff and getting stuff out there, and your name starts getting out there, people ask on local gossip pages. You know, they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm looking for this warmer," especially LTOs. And I had somebody tag me the other day, like different people tagged me. And so going that extra mile and finding that LTO that you may not make PRV off of it right now, that makes lifetime customers. Is if you go that extra mile and find that warmer that they're really looking for. And it was funny because the two girls that actually did that to me here lately, I messaged them, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll meet you here to deliver." And they're like, "Well, my mom works here." And both of them had one's daughter said she worked by me, and the other one said their mom worked by me. And come to find out, I work with both of their relatives. So it's like now they're like they're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, that's my daughter. She works there," and everything. So it's funny how you can make connections through other ways besides just your work or wherever you're at.
Yep.
that's so cool. I love that.
But the hype girl seems to work if you are only doing Facebook parties. But I'm ready to get out and do live parties too.
So
Yeah,
we'll
that's my
post that
goal.
on our page so that we can share that. But I know we kept y'all tonight, and we really, really, really appreciate it. And I feel like there was a lot of information. So I really hope that you guys take this to heart and really help with your businesses. Now, my team, we always do a keyword for a fun drawing, and even if you want to do it too. But tonight, the keyword that you're going to have to put on the group page is lemons. We're going to use the word lemons.
Lemon.
Lemons, and that will go into the drawing. So that's it. If no one else has anything,
Make sure I see who I was on here for my
yeah,
team.
go ahead and see who's on there.
Yeah, I screenshotted. I see Kenyon. So I have Kenyon, Heather, Carol, Billy Joe, Heidi. I think that's it, right? Just Debbie's yours. Shannon.
Mm,
Trying to think which Debbie would be.
yeah. And I know there's people watching on Facebook too. I can see them. But
Oh,
and
okay. I can't.
I'll give you the recording too. So y'all can
Yeah,
share it.
thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for
Thank
being
you so
on.
much for being on tonight.
Yeah.
Love you.
Bye.